I've always believed trust is the strongest pillar of marriage. You can live in a small house, eat a simple meal, and still feel like a king if you know your partner is truly loyal. But when trust cracks, even the biggest mansion feels like a prison. My name is Chike, a Nigerian man in his late 30s, and for 10 years, I thought my marriage was built on love, respect, and unshakable honesty. My wife, Amara, was everything I ever prayed for: beautiful, soft-spoken, a devoted mother to our 2 children. Or at least, that's what I told myself every night before I closed my eyes. Until one weekend, when a simple lie exposed a truth so painful that it nearly destroyed me. It started on a Thursday evening. Amara was pacing around our living room, phone in hand, pretending to be on a call with her mother. I say pretending, because her tone didn't sound like the Amara I knew. Her voice was forced, and she kept glancing at me nervously, as though rehearsing lines of a play. When she hung up, she sighed heavily, clutching her handbag. "Chike, Mama is not feeling well. I need to travel to Enugu tomorrow morning to be with her." I immediately stood up. "Enugu? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I would have arranged for us all to go." She shook her head quickly, her braids swaying. No, don't worry. It's just a quick visit. You stay with the children. I'll be back by Sunday evening." Her explanation seemed normal, but something inside me whispered otherwise. It wasn't the fact that she wanted to see her mother that was natural. It was the way her eyes darted, how she avoided holding my gaze. Amara had never been good at lying, her body always betrayed her. That night, while she packed her bag, I watched silently. She folded her clothes neatly, almost too carefully, selecting dresses that didn't exactly look like what a woman would wear to visit a sick mother. A red gown with high slits. Heels she hadn't worn in years. Lip gloss slipped discreetly into a side pocket. My chest tightened. "Amara," I finally asked, "you said Mama is sick. Do you really think those clothes are appropriate for taking care of her?" She froze for a moment, then forced a laugh. "Ah, Chike, you worry too much. It's just in case we go to church. You know Mama insists on Sunday service no matter how sick she is." I smiled weakly, pretending to believe her. But deep down, my mind was already racing. That night, after she fell asleep, I quietly reached for her phone. She always guarded it like a hawk, but this time, exhaustion betrayed her. The lock opened with her usual pattern. My hands trembled as I scrolled through her messages. Most were harmless chats with friends. But then, I found one. A message from a man saved as Benson Electrician. Except, Benson wasn't talking about wires or faulty bulbs. "I can't wait to see you, Amara. Book your ticket tonight. Lagos won't know what hit it when you arrive." Lagos. Not Enugu. I felt my stomach drop. My hands went cold. She wasn't going to see her mother, she was flying to Lagos to meet another man. And not just any man. Benson was her ex. I knew his name, I knew their history. They had dated back in university before she met me. I always thought she had cut ties with him, but clearly, she hadn't. I sat there in the dark, staring at the phone screen as my wife breathed softly beside me, dreaming away while my world collapsed. For hours, I couldn't sleep. My mind replayed every moment of our marriage. The birthdays we celebrated, the family prayers, the nights we stayed awake talking about our future. Was it all a lie? By dawn, I had made my decision. If she was lying to me, I wouldn't confront her yet. I would wait. I would follow her. And I would catch her in her own web of deceit. The next morning, she dressed up quickly, kissing the children and giving me a half-hearted hug. "Take care of them, Chike. I'll call when I arrive in Enugu." I nodded calmly, pretending everything was normal. But as soon as she left, I called my friend, Kunal, who worked at the airport as a ticketing officer. "Kunal," I said in a low voice, please check something for me. Did Amara Chike book a ticket to Enugu? He paused for a while before replying. Chike, she booked for Lagos. Flight leaves at 11:30 a.m. The words cut through me like a blade. But instead of breaking down, I felt a strange calmness settle over me. If this was how she wanted to play, then so be it. By 10 a.m., I was already at Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos, my heart pounding with every tick of the clock. I didn't tell her I was coming. I didn't even tell Kamal what I planned to do. All I knew was that I had to see it with my own eyes before I confronted her. As the passengers began filing out from the arrival gate, my stomach twisted. And then, there she was. My wife. My Amara. She walked confidently, a bright smile on her face, pulling her suitcase behind her. She wasn't dressed like a woman visiting her sick mother, she was dressed like a woman stepping into a secret life. But what made my blood boil wasn't just her appearance. It was the man waiting for her. Benson. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a grin that mocked me from a distance. He held out his arms, and without hesitation, Amara ran into them. Right there, in public, she embraced him as though the last 10 years of our marriage never existed. I clenched my fists, tears burning my eyes, but I forced myself not to move. Not yet. I needed more than just anger, I needed evidence, and I needed her to know that she couldn't escape the truth anymore. So I waited. I followed them at a distance as they left the airport, laughing, holding hands like young lovers. My heart broke with every step, but I knew the confrontation was coming. And when it did, it would shake the very foundation of our marriage. That night, as I sat alone in my hotel room in Lagos, staring at the pictures I had secretly taken of Amara and Benson, I knew that tomorrow would be the day of reckoning. She thought she had fooled me with her lies. She thought she could live 2 lives without consequence. But she didn't know that her husband was waiting at the airport, with the truth in his hands. And once I revealed it, nothing in our lives would ever be the same again. The next morning, I woke with a heavy heart and an even heavier resolve. I hadn't slept well. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mara's smile as she ran into Benson's arms. A smile she hadn't given me in years. I had the evidence, photos of them together, time-stamped and undeniable. But evidence is one thing, facing the person you love, the mother of your children, and exposing her betrayal? That's a different kind of battle. Still, I knew running away from the truth would destroy me more than the confrontation itself. So I dressed carefully, put the photos in an envelope, and went back to the airport. By midday, I spotted them again. Amara and Benson were walking hand in hand through the lounge, dragging their luggage. It looked like they had spent the night together and were preparing to board a flight back. The sight nearly knocked the air from my lungs. I positioned myself near the exit gate, my body trembling but my face composed. As they drew closer, my heart pounded like war drums. Then, just as Amara reached for Benson's hand, I stepped forward. "Welcome back from Enugu," I said, my voice steady but sharp as a blade. Amara froze instantly, her smile vanishing. Her eyes widened, and she almost dropped her bag. Benson's confident grin faltered too, but he quickly regained himself, puffing out his chest as though ready to defend her. "Chike, what are you doing here?" Amara stammered, her voice breaking. "What am I doing here?" I held up the envelope, then dropped the photos onto the cold-tiled floor. They scattered at her feet, pictures of her and Benson, laughing, holding hands, wrapped in each other's arms. Every passerby slowed to look. A small crowd began to form. "You lied to me, Amara. You told me you were going to see your sick mother. Instead, you flew to Lagos to see him." My voice shook, but it carried enough power to silence the murmurs around us. Amara bent down, gathering the pictures desperately, her hands trembling. "Chike, please, it's not what you think. I can explain." I laughed bitterly, the sound harsher than I intended. "Explain? What is there to explain? Did your mother suddenly become a 6-foot man with broad shoulders? Benson stepped forward then, trying to act bold. Look, man, don't humiliate her here. Whatever is going on, talk about it at home. I turned to him slowly, my eyes burning. You should be ashamed. You knew she was married. You knew she had children. Yet here you are, smiling like a thief who thinks he's won. The air in the lounge was thick with tension. Amara reached for my arm, tears streaming down her face. Chike, please, lower your voice. Let's talk somewhere private. The children. At the mention of my children, something inside me snapped. The children? I roared. You dare to mention them now? Do you know what this would have done to them if they ever found out? Do you know how many times I defended you, trusted you, believed in you? And this is how you repay me? Silence followed. The weight of my words hung in the air. For the first time since I'd known her, Amara had no defense. Her shoulders sagged, and her face crumpled as if she had finally realized the damage she had done. I looked at her one last time, my heart breaking all over again. I waited at the airport, Amara. Not just for you to come home, but to see the truth with my own eyes. And now that I have, I don't know if I can ever look at you the same way again. Then I turned and walked away, leaving her and Benson standing in the middle of the lounge, surrounded by strangers, drowning in shame. The confrontation had happened. The lie was shattered. But what came next, the decision to stay, to forgive, or to leave, would test not just my marriage, but my very soul. I left the airport that day feeling both lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter because the truth was finally out, heavier because I now carried the weight of betrayal I could never unsee. Amara didn't come home that night. She stayed in Lagos, perhaps with Benson, perhaps alone, I didn't know. All I knew was that when I walked through the door, my children ran into my arms, their innocent laughter piercing through my pain. Daddy, did you bring Mommy back? My little daughter asked. I froze, unable to answer. How could I explain to her that her mother chose lies over love, desire over duty? I hugged them tighter, whispering, Mommy will be home soon. But inside, my chest burned with anger and sorrow. 2 days later, Amara returned. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen from tears. She didn't bring her luggage inside immediately. She just stood at the doorway, staring at me like a stranger. Chike, she whispered, please, can we talk? I said nothing at first. I just stared at her, my silence louder than any words. The children clung to her legs, overjoyed to see their mother, unaware of the storm raging between us. Later that night, when they were asleep, Amara sat across from me at the dining table. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it back. Why, Amara? I finally asked, my voice raw. Why would you betray me like this? She broke down immediately, sobbing uncontrollably. Chike, I don't know what came over me. Benson found me on Facebook months ago. At first, it was just innocent chats, catching up, talking about the past. But then, I don't know, I felt alive again. Like the girl I used to be before life became routine. I was weak. I let temptation take over. But I swear, I never meant to destroy us. Her words cut deep. They weren't excuses, but confessions. She admitted everything, how loneliness, old memories, and curiosity had led her down a path she couldn't escape. I sat there silently, my mind a battlefield. Part of me wanted to scream, to throw her out, to end it all. But another part remembered the years we had built together, the children sleeping peacefully in their rooms, unaware that their family was hanging by a thread. Amara, I said finally, my voice trembling, marriage is not just about love. It's about choices. Every day, we choose to stay loyal, even when it's hard. You made a different choice. And now, we all have to live with it. She knelt down before me, clutching my legs. Please, Chike, give me one more chance. I'll cut all ties with him. I'll do anything to earn back your trust. Don't end this marriage because of my foolishness. Think of the children. I closed my eyes, torn apart. Forgiveness was possible, yes, but forgetting? Never. Trust, once broken, is like shattered glass. You can glue it back, but the cracks will always remain. In the weeks that followed, I didn't make any rushed decision. I focused on my children, on work, on prayer. Amara tried everything, cooking my favorite meals, calling me during the day, even attending counseling at church. But the silence between us lingered like a ghost. One evening, I finally told her the truth. I may forgive you someday, Amara. For the sake of peace, for the children, maybe I already have. But understand this, trust is not a switch you can turn back on. You killed something inside me at that airport. And only time will tell if it can ever be revived. She wept again, but this time, I didn't comfort her. I had learned something powerful: love is not blind. It sees everything, even the ugly parts. And sometimes, the greatest act of love is not holding on, but setting boundaries. To anyone listening to my story, remember this: lies travel fast, but the truth waits patiently, and when it arrives, it shatters illusions. If you are married, guard your home like treasure. The devil doesn't always come with horns. Sometimes he comes as an old friend, a sweet memory, or a tempting smile. As for me, I still live with Amara, for now. But the lesson remains carved in my heart. Trust is fragile. Once broken, it may never be whole again. So if you value your home, protect it with honesty before it's too late.